Hi, everyone. My name is Kenneth Ho. I'm a principal with Westside Investment Partners, and we own the Park Hill Golf Course. Go ahead, Megan.
Hi, everyone. My name is Megan. I work with Kenneth at Westside Investment Partners, and we're super excited to see what you guys have to offer.
Kartal and Matt have asked us to participate in your presentations at the end of December. We're super excited. Park Hill Golf Course provides a huge opportunity for Denver and North Park Hill neighborhoods, and we can't wait to hear what you have to tell us. Thanks so much, and we'll see you on the 17th.
Hi, my name is Kai. I spend a lot of time in North Park Hill, and what I think should be in the Denver area, in the North Park Hill area, would be a lot of parks and basketball courts.
Hi DGS Northfield. My name is Sandra Turner. I'm a Denver native and I've lived in Park Hill for over 15 years. I'm actually standing at what used to be Park Hill Golf Course. Sadly, no longer a golf course. With that being said, as far as development of this land goes, I'm really happy to know that they're going to preserve 60 acres as an outdoor space. I'd love to see a community garden where people could come together and grow fresh, healthy vegetables and fruit, potentially a farmer's market in the summer months. I think something for the youth would be really valuable. I thought maybe a putt-putt course that would be affordable and accessible to the kids in the neighborhood. I know Denver has a real need for affordable housing, so I hope they add some affordable housing, some retail shops for the community, people that have businesses here that could work close to home so our community could thrive. A couple things I do not want to see here. I don't want to see chain restaurants. I don't want to see a Starbucks and a Noodles and Company and a Chipotle or Chick-fil-A. I hope for more mom and pop shops. Those are just some of my hopes and thoughts for this beautiful community that deserves something positive. Denver's growth has been out of control and in a lot of ways very irresponsible. This land was supposed to always be a golf course, so I hope that they do right by Park Hill residents and do something positive and inclusive for everybody. Good luck with your projects, and I think this is amazing that you guys are looking into this.
All right. Thanks, Matt, for joining us. Maybe just to introduce yourself a little bit, could you tell us your name and then how long you've lived in the Park Hill neighborhood?
Yeah, my name is Matthew Culver, and I'm Ryland's dad. And I've lived in the Park Hill neighborhood. We've lived in the Park Hill neighborhood for the last 5 years.
Excellent. And so there's a big development that's happening up on 35th and Colorado area, the former Park Hill golf course, and know that a lot of community members are interested to see what happens with this piece of land. Maybe we can just first get an understanding of the Park Hill neighborhood. What are some things that you feel like that the neighborhood already has that are real assets to the community? And then maybe you can tell us a little bit about some things that you maybe feel like the neighborhood doesn't have that you would like that maybe are missing.
Yeah. So Park Hill in general, and Northeast Park Hill in particular, we live in Northeast Park Hill, is mostly residential. It's not a whole lot of businesses. I mean, there are some areas of businesses, and kids that live in the neighborhood will know about the rec center and the library and the Boys and Girls Club, and there's some businesses right there. But there's not a whole lot of opportunity for youth in particular to have jobs in the neighborhood. There's not a lot of new affordable housing that's in the neighborhood. And so, just when you look at the Park Hill Golf Course, it is a large piece of property. Like there is, if you've ever been out there and walked around it, for a while there it was closed, but now you can get on the golf course and walk around and see just how big it is. So I think there's a ton of opportunities there.
Great. And so that sounds like a really exciting thing for the community. What are some things in particular that you would be excited to have added to the community?
Yeah, I think it's awesome what the DGS is doing and trying to hear the community voice. And I think that's most important when it comes to this process, is that people that, especially that live right around that neighborhood, or right around the golf course, have a say in what happens there, and instead of some outside entity just coming and saying, this is what would be best for you, like hearing that voice. So I just wanted to say thanks for doing that, for interviewing. And I think that within the neighborhood, within the neighbors, there are going to be all kinds of ideas. Some will be great, some others won't be. And I think as a piece of property, like to keep it as a just completely open space. Well, I think open space is good and needed. It's so large. I don't think the entire thing needs to stay in open space. Like I'd love to see a park there and a place where people can go and get some exercise. You know, a really nice playground in the neighborhood. You know, there are some parks there's Skyland Park, Martin Luther King Park, but there's not like any that's like a flagship park where kids can play in a huge playground, you know, those types of things. And so that would be fantastic. Something around a mixed use space. So where maybe it's part residential, maybe it's part, you know, some places for some entrepreneurs, and they call it like an incubator for folks. And I apologize if there's noise coming as we're going. My kids are upstairs banging around, getting ready for school. And so some mixed use spaces, and the knocking is getting me.
No worries.
But also some affordable housing options for folks in the neighborhood, and not just like housing that is going to further displace people that have been in the neighborhood for a long time. And the more, and it's a tricky balance, because when you have a nice, desirable place that's new for people to live, like it just by default is going to raise property values, and then raise the values of raise rents. And so like all this has to be thought through carefully. And so there's a few ideas that I had.
And so you touch on like a really important point, and I don't know if you feel like as a community member, you have an idea for how this can be achieved, but the things that I'm hearing are that we'd love to have a nice flagship park, something that we can be proud of. We'd like to add perhaps more businesses, things that young people can work at, can be exciting, a resource for the community. But then also there's this goal that it's done perhaps responsibly, so that maybe what happened in South Park Hill, where families couldn't afford to live there anymore, that there still might be able to retain some of North Park Hill's identity, which is, at least in our school zone, it's the most diverse part of the area. And so, first, is that like an accurate surmising of like your views? And if so, do you feel like there's ways to make that happen? Because that's obviously not easy to accomplish, but it's still something that it's worth it, probably.
Absolutely. No, I think the strength of this neighborhood has been its diversity, and as the neighborhood is gentrifying, and which would be great for students to look into that in this project. How is a new development going to impact the people that have been in this neighborhood the longest, like and have a real Park Hill pride? Like there is a Park Hill pride here, and just a real rich history. And so you'd hate for whatever's done there to minimize the voice and make it less sustainable for neighbors here.
And then last question, because I think this is kind of exciting. When it comes to any types of businesses, are there any that you feel like Park Hill could really add to? Whether that's, it'd be great to have more gyms, more restaurants, grocery, more. Are there things that you feel like are missing in the North Park Hill neighborhood that would be a real asset?
Yeah, great question. for sure a grocery store of some sort, a market. That part of the neighborhood is largely considered a food desert when it comes to access to fresh foods, things like that. And so, you know, I think there's any number of businesses that could be a benefit, but definitely having some type of, you know, and not a Whole Foods, just call that whole paycheck, you know, so something that's attainable for just for people who live here would be great.
Well, thank you so much, Matt, for joining. Really appreciate it. I know our students are really going to look forward to hearing what it is that you have to share. I think it really represents the community well. So thank you. And we look forward. We're going to be actually presenting this to the Westside Development team that's going to be heading this project. So
Awesome.
they're excited to hear our community voice. So thank you so much for sharing.
Absolutely.